going to teach everything we know about a back handspring. I'm going to show you some tips that I have. I'm going to show you some things that I've seen go wrong. And we're just going to break this down to a science. Okay, so then go ahead and show me what a back handspring is. Let me see what your best version of a back handspring is. Okay, I'm going to stand right here just so you have a little power. Good. Okay, so freeze. If y'all saw that, that was a back handspring to a stick. I want you to do the same thing again. I want you to watch one thing real fast. Go get it, Mama. Back handspring to a stick. Okay, so one thing I want you to notice, the power she used in that was not sufficient for a rebound, okay? And we're gonna get into that in a little bit, but a rebound in my eyes is the most important element to a back handspring because it determines the efficacy of that back handspring. It determines how well that back handspring was executed, okay? So I want you to do a back handspring to a rebound, okay? So what we should see here, a bigger swing, a bigger drive, a bigger snap, and a bigger rebound, an actual rebound, okay? So show me one with some power. Let me see how much power you can get in this. And I want you to watch how much power this one has for the sole fact that she continues her momentum and she actually finishes for the rebound, okay? Let's get it. Good. So what made Jaden pop off of the ground? This isn't bouncy at all. This is actually very absorbent. This is taking all of her power away, but she was still able to complete the back handspring and complete the rebound and get a good enough rebound to where she could have thrown another skill out of the rebound, out of the back handspring, okay? So let's go ahead and break this back handspring down, but first, show me the worst back handspring you can do, okay? I want bent knee head thrown back, feet apart. I want the ugliest back handspring you can do. Show me. Do whatever you want, but I want to see an ugly back handspring. Show me horrible technique. Go get it. And I want y'all to watch one thing. You got it. So see how she kind of just gave up? That's what I'm gonna fix today, okay? That's what I'm gonna show you how to fix, how to break it down to where you know why that's happening and you know how to correct the problem, okay? So what I'm gonna do real quick, so we're gonna go desktop. All right, y'all, so check this out. Back handspring fundamentals. This is a quick little outline that I created, and this is what I'm going to be going over. Number one, the common mistakes, how to diagnose an athlete's problem. What I've seen is some athletes sit too low. Some athletes don't sit enough, which will lead to undercutting, which could be caused by a sideways swing and having your feet apart, which would lead to bent arms and legs because you're undercutting and you're going sideways, and you can't drive your hips up. You can't have a hip drive if your knees are bent, because if your knees are bent, your hips are down instead of up. That's the opposite way we want to go. And not snapping to hollow. If you don't hit all of these, I guess, prerequisites leading to, if you don't have this sequence of, let's break it down backwards. If you have this sequence of events, you will not be able to snap to hollow. And I'm going to break down hip drive and snapping to hollow, because without a hip drive, without snapping to hollow, there is no rebound, okay? And the most common mistake I've seen is having a lack of confidence, okay? So Jaden, let's come over here and let's break this down. Let's break this down, lay down. Let me show you what I mean by hip drive, y'all, because whenever you're flipping, I guess if you're going backwards, it's all determined by how high you get your hips up, okay? Because think about center of gravity, and, you know, for women, more specifically, they have, I guess, you know, all of their weight could be in there. It depends on your body composition, but I've seen a lot of times, a lot of women have more weight up top than down low. So they have, their center of gravity is off just a hair. So you got to look at the athlete. You got to figure out what their strengths are. You got to look at their body composition. Jaden's pretty much lean all the way across, although she is top heavy for obvious natural reasons. But here, lay down on your back. So for hip drive, it depends on the person. It depends on the athlete, the body composition, their bone structure, arms up fast, boom. So this is a hip drive. Notice how her body is flipping over, okay? Her body's going and going. And now, physically speaking, she can't flip over just because her shoulders are stopping. But if we get here, boom, hollow body. So this is what I mean by hollow. And I'm gonna break this down so much, but if I let go, do you think her legs are gonna fall this way or this way? See what I mean? So let's break that part down real fast. And I have to break this down to a science for it all to make sense. We did that in our back walkover tutorial. I went way more in depth than I feel some people could kind of stay with, but try to pay attention to what I'm saying early on because it will make sense in about 5 minutes, okay? So if you're going to do a handstand, let's talk about hollow body. Right now, this is a hollow front. This is the front of her body. Jaden, show me a hollow back. Hollow back is whenever you have the hollow, the hollow shape. Toes up, tight toes, big hips, big hips. So if I were to let go of her right now, where would she fall? This way or that way? She's still gonna fall that way. And let me tell you why, okay? And this is the important part that you have to understand for everything else to make sense, okay? Let's go. Handstand. Look at the relationship between her hips and her hands. If her hips are on this side, she's gonna fall this way. If her hips are over her hands, she's gonna fall this way. So kick back up to a handstand. It has pretty much nothing to do with hollow front or hollow back. It's all about the relationship between the athlete's hips and their hands, whatever they're standing on, or stand up. If they're on their feet, arms up tight, tippy toes, hollow front, boom. So if I let go now, her hips are slightly over her toes, so she's gonna fall this way. Arms up, stay hollow front. So now her hips are behind her, so she's gonna fall that way. So does that make sense? So do this. Because theoretically speaking, if you're hollow tippy toes, let's say it looks like she's gonna go this way or straight up. If she has backwards momentum, that's a whole nother lesson right there. But here, arch your back. So she's arching her back, reaching that way. But if her hips are this way, she's going to cancel out. She's trying to go this way while her body's saying go this way because her hips are over her toes. And that is called undercutting, okay? One of the first things you got to understand is people go wrong in their back handsprings because they undercut. And Jaden, do you know what undercutting means?
It means like you undercut something.
Yes. Scientific explanation right there. You just undercut something, okay? You can't go two places at once. And if you try to go two places at once, mainly specifically in tumbling, you're just going to, it's going to cancel out and you're going to go up and straight down, okay? So Jaden, show me an undercut back handspring. You know, whenever you, and I'm going to teach Jaden what undercut means more specifically to where it makes sense to her. So look, check this out. Jaden does this thing on her little circle mat that she thinks is really cool, but I absolutely hate it. Let me show you real quick. Jaden, do a back walkover real fast. Perfect back walkover. Long stretch, but see how she undercut a little bit? So you undercut just because your hips didn't get over enough, but that's fine. But see how nice, here, give me a long stretch out one. Yeah, beautiful. So see how her body continues to go back because everything's aligning properly with the relationship between her hips and her hands and her hips and her feet, okay? So check this out, Jaden. Do a back walkover and stay on this mat. This is undercutting. She's gonna purposely do it, but see how she didn't travel at all, you know what I mean? So it all canceled out at the end. She ended up going straight up. But here, go one more time. I want you to look at the relationship between her hips and her toes, okay? So I'm not sure if y'all caught that. At the beginning, she had to thrust her hips forward to undercut to land, okay? So good if that's what you're trying to do. But in a skill, you want to drive back, mainly in a back handspring. So what I see go wrong is people undercut their back handsprings and then they end up falling on their head. They end up here. I'm gonna do one because I don't want Jaden to do this and just get used to it. But I'm gonna demonstrate an undercut back handspring, okay? And let's see what it looks like. And I'm gonna fall, okay? But you'll see exactly why I fell. Right there. Have you ever seen an athlete do that? Yes or no? You got to ask yourself, have you ever seen that? Mainly, if you're a coach, if you're an athlete watching, have you ever done that yourself? Have you ever seen someone do a back handspring like that? If you're a parent watching, have you seen your child do that before? And that's really just caused by undercutting because they don't know the proper technique or they don't know the proper mechanics for back handspring, okay? So I'm going to share something real quick that we're going to get into, okay? So you got to control your direction and make sure you have a hip drive. We're going to break that down. But check this out. So common mistakes, we already talked about that, but understanding shapes. What are shapes and why do they matter? Why are they so important? So you got to know your starting position. We're going to talk about that. You got to know your sit. Okay, you got to have a leg extension. The most crucial part of a back handspring, in my opinion, is the leg extension first, okay? Order of operations, like math. And I'm going to break this down to where you cannot go wrong with the back handspring, okay? Of course, the swing, we already talked about hip drive. We talked about hollow, but we haven't broken down hollow. We're going to get there because there's hollow front and there's hollow back, okay? So Jay, let's hop out there. And we're going to focus on this leg extension. I'm going to show you every single step to a proper back handspring. And then we're going to break down everything here. So Jaden, we're going to do our starting position. We're going to sit. We're going to do a good leg extension. We're going to stay there for a little bit, okay? And then we're going to talk about swinging and snapping to hollow.
Snap hollow means like you like snap.
Yeah.
Like very fast.
Dan, you're killing it with these explanations, mama. Let's get them. All right. So how to execute a proper back handspring. Here are all the steps. This is why y'all are here. And if you were to leave right now, if you were to just stop this video, you could kind of diagnose the problem. But I want to get into it to where you know everything about it and how to fix it, okay? Because it's one thing to know that something's wrong. There's another thing to diagnose the problem, but there's another level, which is fixing the problem, knowing how to fix the problem, okay? Let's go, Jaden. So first step to a back handspring. Here, hop off real quick. Let me split this up. You have to start in a starting position. So hands up. Good. So nice, beautiful lift. Okay. So Jaden is a gymnast, so they always start in a straight line. To me, tumbling is all about beautiful lines. Okay. So from the front, face them, Jaden. Notice how her toes start together. Straight arms, lifting up high, nice and tight. Squeeze those ankles together too. Now show me feet apart, Jaden. And now show me arms up and out in front of you. So some people now lean forward, just kind of here, relax your arms. Just like here, give me like, see, it's hard for her to use that technique. Some people start like this. And if you're starting it off wrong, then it's going to end wrong. Keep that in mind, okay? A skill is all about starting in a line and ending in a line, primarily a back handspring, okay? So show me your nice clean lift. Step number one, good clean lift. Step number two, let me see your sit. Sit, freeze. Okay, so this is important to me, okay? So I always think parallel, you're good, mom. See if you can see this parallel line between her arm and her shin, okay? You wanna have a nice, clean parallel line, okay? You don't wanna be off right there, okay? Because we started in a line, you wanna at least sit to a parallel line, boom. And this is what I was talking about. So think about what I said earlier about the hips. Right now, if she were to just jump, she's not gonna go anywhere but up because her hips are in direct line with her ankles, okay? So if her hips shift back, now when I let go, she's gonna go where? No, my gosh, Aiden. Hey, good job landing that. Let me tell you exactly why I was so scared right there, okay? Let me tell you why I feel that was extremely dangerous, and I've seen girls break their arms for that exact reason, okay? Jaden is seasoned enough to where she knows how to not break her arm, how to not get hurt, and how to land even if something is off. But I have seen it firsthand, broken arms, dislocated elbows from what just happened right there, okay? So here, let's break, hey, you're not in trouble, don't worry. More than anything, great job landing that because that was scary, okay? So show me your starting position, boom, starting in the line, sit parallel, freeze. So you have to shift the weight back to go back, but this is what scared me, and this is where people go wrong. They go arms first, swing your arms back, just swing, go, arch, go, arms back, boom. So they snap their arms, touch the ground, and then right there. And that's when they break their arm because what? You're trying to go back, but you never had the leg extension, so you're just gonna fall, okay? And that right, y'all, I'm telling you, if you can just see this I'm putting together here from the starting, I know I started off super slow and really in depth, all that detail, but now you're understanding why, okay? That's a whole safety concern in its own, okay? But let's go ahead and break it down some more. So instead of that, what should we do? We talked about the starting position, we talked about the sit, but we haven't gotten into the leg drive, which has to come before you swing, or pretty much as you're swinging, okay? So, but I always try to say before, because if you drive back with your legs first, up and over, and then get your hips up before you swing, or as you swing, then you can just wipe out the chance of breaking your arm and dislocating your elbow, okay? Because you're gonna have ample amount of room. Your body's going where you want it to go, where you're telling it to go, okay? So show me your sit. And right here's the most important part. Leg drive off your toes. Toes. Boom. Now we're good. Now her body's saying, hey, let's go this way. So then you swing. And as you swing, your hips come up. Hips, 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 hips. Boom. Now we're good. So if I let go of her, what's going to happen? Is she going to go this way or this way? This way. Why? Why did that happen? You can answer that for yourself, okay? And like I said, I can't see any comments if you are commenting, but you know exactly why that didn't make it over. So it's one thing to know, it's one thing to diagnose, it's one thing to know how to correct it, okay? Let's go. Let's provide a solution for that. So we got the good leg drive. So arms up, show me your sit parallel, boom. Shift your weight backwards to where your hips are back, then legs, lock out, boom. Now arms and hips, arms, hips, hips, hips. Boom. Okay, so we're almost there, but see how she has a hollow back? You got to snap the hollow front. Shoulder, 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 shoulders. Good lift. So right now, this isn't a good position because her hips are still back. I need your chest in more. Boom. Now she has the hollow front. Now, whenever I let go, she's going to fall. But watch where her hips go. Fall, fall, fall. Boom. So stop, 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 stop. Let's talk about something here that I did not write in the outline. Where are her feet? Behind her. So if she lets go with her hand or her arms, if she takes her arms off the ground, what's going to happen? Let go, Jen. Arms off. She's going to fall straight down. Okay. But why was that? Because her feet here, go show me hollow body. So her feet are too far behind her. So what is the solution? And this is where people go wrong. They keep their hands on the ground. They know that they can prod your feet in. So they're under you. No problem up here. Walk up here. They land here between your legs because they know it's safe. They keep their hands on the ground. But what position is this? What shape is this? What is this egg? This isn't crack a mold, break an egg. You know what I mean? Like, this is not a position to end in. I told you earlier, we start in the line, we end in the line. So where do you want to end? Boom. And in this case, you can either stick it with little momentum or rebound with a lot of momentum. Okay, so let's break it down some more. Let's get into it. We almost have a full back handspring. So let's sit, or sorry, start it off with your steps. Step one, show me step two, parallel. Step three, push off, swing all the way, but don't leave your arms down. Arms up, sit back. Now freeze. Now hips up, swing, hips fast, snap hollow. Boom. Fix your chest, curl your back more. Boom. Y'all just see this arch in the back, Jane, don't do that. So freeze. Now we're nice and tight. Let me scoot her away from the black thing on the wall. All right, so how do you get there? Squeeze your toes. So Jane, I want you to try to stay in a line. I'm gonna pick up your chest and try to land straight up and down. 1, 2, 3, yeah. Boom, okay? So look at here, do a handstand again. I'm gonna do it from the side because I think that was a little bit too high. Ready? So here's a drill that I do if the athlete is small enough. Chest up, arms up, chest up, get up all the way. No, but see how you drop your arms? Let me get down a little lower. So you get here, so chest up, boom, okay? So her hips remain on top, okay? If you can think of 3 points, here, do a handstand real fast. Let's go away from the black. All right, go. I gotta wear a white shirt next time, so white shorts. All right, so toes, hips, hands. You wanna leave her hips here. She wants to keep her hips here to where they don't fall down, because if they fall down, your feet are gonna land behind you. Leave the hips in the same position. Now pick up, boom, arms up, boom, okay? So that's where we wanna be for the rebound line. So I want you to go ahead and do a back handspring and stop in a hollow body handstand. Then let it tip over, okay? Perfect technique.
Hold it for a little bit straight, then fall down?
Yes, ma'am. So this is a really hard skill to do, but if they can master this, I feel that it's just one of those drills you got. So I'm going to tell you the one tip that I have, the most important tip, not just for back handsprings, but for all tumbling. I'm going to get to that in the end, but I want you to just watch what she does here and keep in mind, this is not how you do a back handspring. And I'll tell you why, but they need to be able to master this skill, because if you can't do this, I don't feel that you should move on. Okay. It's all subjective to the athlete, to the coach, to the organization, whether they should move on. But if an athlete cannot do this properly, I'm not going to let them move on, just for safety and practicality reasons. Let's go. Back handspring to a handstand. Slowly let it fall back. You want a high five? You're doing good. Let's go. Who saw the undercut right there? And even if you didn't see the undercut, look at where her hands are. Where did her feet start? Her feet started right here. Why are your hands only right there, Jaden? Because you didn't drive back. If we were to rewind this video, we would see you took off for your back handspring in this position. You didn't drive back first. And that is something that Jaden is working on. Keep in mind, in my eyes, she has not mastered a back handspring yet. She has an amazing back handspring, but in my eyes, she has not mastered it just yet for that sole reason. How do you fix it?
By doing back.
Say leg extension.
Leg extension.
Before her arm swing. So y'all check this out. Jaden just told me the solution. She knows the problem. She knows that there is a problem. And that's another thing. The athlete has to see the problem, but she knows how to diagnose it as well. She knows how to fix it. Okay, so go ahead and fix it. So her hand should be significantly further back this time. Okay, go get it. Stop in the handstand and then let it slowly fall to hollow. Go. Beautiful. So if you notice one thing, kick up to a handstand. The second her hands hit, her hips were right here, but she kept her hips going over and snapped. So like I said, it doesn't matter if you're hollow back or hollow front. It matters if you get your hips up and over, which we were talking about with the hip drive. So let's break this hip drive down one more time, and then we're going to get into what the back handspring should look like. We're going to get into momentum power, okay? Lay down on your back. So here's the drill that I do. The number one drill I do with every athlete, whether it's for stunting, tumbling. This is just very important for body control, okay? Swing your arms up. Now, hips, 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 hips. Now, check this out. Drop your hips down. Relax. Oh, she didn't flip over. What's wrong? Her hips are down. We talked about that earlier. Your hips have to string on hips. Hips, hips, hips. Now, drop it down, drop it down. Now, there's a string. Get that belly button up. Pull, get that string. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, more hips, more hips, more hips. Handstand. More hips, more hips. Now, freeze. So this is a comfortable spot. So there is a snap that you're going to do because you don't want to just hit hollow or you're just going to fall, okay? You want to get here tight toes, a little hollow back, then snap to hollow, okay? But as you're snapping, don't leave your chest down or you're going to pike, okay? As you're snapping, you snap to here and you, oh, Jay, I need a better hollow body. Curl your back, curl your back. And you hold that shape, okay? Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. So that's the thing that I was talking about, shapes. You got to hold that shape. But the shape is, let me show you the shapes of a back handspring. The ones that truly matter. All right, let's go over here so they can see. Tippy toes, arms up straight. She's going to be here. Check out how minimal these movements are. It's a lift, hollow back, and hollow front. Hollow back, arms back, hollow front. Boom. Y'all, it's not this. It's not here. Yeah, that is hollow back. Yes, this is hollow front, technically. You know what I mean? But there's too much range of motion. You want to limit the range of motion in the skill, okay? That's how you maintain that line, okay? So I want to see you do one back handspring to a stick, okay? I want to see momentum. I want to see you driving back, and I want you to stick this one, okay? Go. Sit back, perfect technique. Parallel, then jump back. Beautiful, Jane. Y'all, I think that was gorgeous. High five, Mom. Like that right there. You can nitpick, but that's a quality back handspring, okay? Add a rebound to it. What do you need to do to add a rebound to it? No, because a rebound isn't a jump, okay? A rebound isn't this. No, this is not a rebound. That's a jump. A rebound is punch, okay? Notice my legs. And like I said, I don't coach Jaden because she's my daughter. Like, I teach her stunts, but we don't really do tumbling. She has 2 other gymnastics coaches for that. But this is rebounding. Balls of your feet hit. Okay, boom, popping off the ground. Not the second your knees bend, you're absorbing. Flat foot, you're absorbing. No, you got to punch the ground, okay? And that's how you get into a tuck. But y'all, a tuck is a different story. Anyway, so the rebound is to connect to skill, okay? And I didn't want to break it down this much, but let me tell you one thing real quick. If you're going to connect a back handspring, that's a whole nother lesson in its own, okay? I don't want to get into this, but if you want to connect a back handspring, like let's say if you're doing 2 back handsprings, you did one, you want to add another one, you can't hit like this because if you hit right here and go for another one, what's going to happen? Really, if you hit here, you're going to go up, okay? But you want to go for another one. So where do your feet need to be? If you're trying to go back again, you got to be here, okay? But here, head in, arms down. So you hit here, bend, just hair. Now swing into another back handspring. Boom. Oh, see how you went shoulders first? Go, push back to it. Sit, chest down. Now push back. Boom. That's where you got to land if you want to add another back handspring. So keep in mind, if they're trying to do 2 back handsprings and they rebound out of the first back handspring and try to do another one, they're going to land on their head, risk breaking their arm, dislocating their elbow. Okay. So you think you can do 2? I don't want you to do that here.
2 back handspring.
I don't want you to, because realistically, she could do it. Go ahead and do it. Go, 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 go. Y'all, I'm going to let my daughter do something that makes 0 sense. Okay. Let's start up here. So watch this. For her to do 2 back handsprings, I know she can do it. I know she's going to land, but watch the second back handspring and how it is not as good as the first one. And we're going to show you why. Go. Freeze. I wish I could pause that in slow-mo at 120 frames a second. So first back handspring, pretty good, if you ask me. The second back handspring, undercut, okay? First, if you ask me, you should be able to land 1 back handspring only on here, and your feet should land over there, Jaden. So look, do this. Show me the longest back handspring you can do. Look at this. I want your feet, look at me. I want your feet to land onto the carpet because it's so long. Go. Freeze, okay? So she didn't have a lot of momentum, but theoretically, this is where she would start her second back handspring. If she went for a second back handspring, girl, you're going into the wall, Jaden. So for her to land a standing 2 back handspring, she had to use bad technique and undercut the second one just to fit it in. She knows how to land, but it's not proper technique. And if she were to go for a third one, the third one would start in a bad position. And if it starts off wrong, it's going to end wrong, okay? Because her feet are going to be dragging behind her, and then that's when you start falling on your head again. So I want to see 1 quality back handspring rebound, okay? So y'all, last back handspring, then we're going to get into some drills real quick, then I'll leave you alone, okay? Let's get it. Back handspring rebound. Prettiest one you can do. Hey, I want power, last one. Let's get it, mama. So look for everything that we talked about. Stretch it out, snap and rebound. Did y'all see how far she pushed back right there? That back handspring didn't have a lot of power, but I saw her fighting for her technique, and in my eyes, that's what matters the most, okay? So I'm going to share my screen one more time, and let's break down the mechanics. We talked about momentum. We talked about extension. We talked about swing. We talked about hip drive. We talked about snapping the hollow. We didn't talk about blocking off, and we could get in. I have mixed feelings about blocking off just because it's not something that you should be doing if you don't have a quality back handspring already. But we will talk about that in the next one with connecting multiple back handsprings, okay? So the rebound we did get into, but let's break this down. At home drills, refer to the video. Let's do these real quick. And then I'm gonna share my biggest tip. The one we did, you can do the hip drive drill all day long. This is my favorite one, possibly. And you know what? If you had a slider, that would, so if I used to coach way back in the day, y'all. And if I didn't have many tools, you just got to grab the closest thing that's going to work. Okay. You got to get creative. So check out how I'm going to create a drill with this. Okay. This is where like you don't always have access to the best equipment or equipment, I guess, on cue at your disposal at all times. So you got to get creative sometimes, and that's perfect because you can do a lot at home. You just gotta, like I said, get creative. Okay, so how am I going to teach her about back handsprings with a piece of slick paper and some carpet? Do you think I can do that? Do you think I could create an effective drill with just this blue piece or whatever?
Yes.
Why? How do you know that?
Because when I do sliders, I can like do this or like this.
So y'all, come here, Jan, come sit down. That wasn't scripted, by the way. She just went off and said that. So let's talk about something real quick, okay? The tutorial is over. Y'all know how to do a back handspring by this point, or at least how to diagnose it and what to work on, okay? But I don't want y'all to see this as, oh, I don't have equipment, or if you're at home finding something, oh, I don't have equipment. You have equipment. You just gotta repurpose some things, okay? So with this, I don't want you to see a piece of blue paper or a piece of slick paper on some carpet. I want you to see this as a slider, okay? And like I said, this was not planned, but I know this is gonna work. So check this out. My favorite drill for back handsprings, here, come here. Sit down on your butt. and face me. So put your arms down in front of you. Check this out, y'all. This is actually golden. Now that I think about it. Give me your feet. Bring your legs. Or here, come into me. Oh, no, here. Keep your hands out. Here, don't touch. Sorry, she's never done this drill before. Here, bend your knees. Boom. Now I want you to push off my hand and go back up. Oh, but see how you lean back? Leave your chest down, okay? That's the equivalent of undercutting. Let me scoot you in. All right, bend. And push back, lean forward, go. Oh, no, Jay, you gotta lock out your legs. So see how there's no drive, there's no leg extension. Extend through your legs off your toes, go. Jay, well, side. I want y'all, Jay, look at your feet. Your feet, point your toes all the way. Point your toes, side, point your toes. That's, here, move your hands. That's pointed toes, Jaden. Push off your feet all the way, extend through, okay? Go again. I have a fix for there because I was holding too high. I'm gonna try to help her out by holding lower. Now push off all the way, go. See how slowly your legs locked out? No, you can, you're just not trying, Jaden, see what I mean? So that's the, if you wanna ask about athlete, I don't wanna say errors, but half the time they're just not trying hard enough, okay? And I wanna show you what I mean. Y'all saw that one. Here, sit back, show me the same thing again. Keep in mind, this would work better on a wall, and I may go to a wall in a second, but for video purposes, give me your feet. I want you to see something. Bring your legs. Drive off as hard as you can, go. So see how her legs never locked out. She's trying to scoot back. So look, this is what's happening right now. And I'm gonna break this down for Jaden to where she can understand. You're here. Here, let's turn this way. Check this out, y'all. So Jay, here, sit up. You're here. And then you start pushing and you're like, okay, it's moving. But it's like, what if you extend it all the way? See what I mean? It's like, yeah, you're moving, but you never fully extend it, okay? Let's go. Now show me again. Then we're gonna try this on the wall. Great, turn around. And momentum. I didn't add this word to the list, but explosiveness. I want you to explode off. Go. Jane, you're pushing through your heels, push through the balls of your feet. Not necessarily your toes, but the balls of your feet, go. Too slow, show me again. Let me see. Yo, I'm feeling her power. She's literally not trying at all, okay? Like, don't let those little lines fool you. Here, bend your knees into your chest. Now push all the way off, go. There, okay. So see how she had a little, so with Jaden, sometimes you gotta make her mad. You gotta make fun of her. You gotta get her pushing, okay? Because sometimes she doesn't do it on her own, okay? And since we're here, I know I'm way over right now, but come here, let's try something.
Can I use this to make a
Yeah, you just made it a slider. So y'all, let's try it right here. Put your butt here. No. Here, come here. Because you already have sliders like downstairs or something here. And wear socks if you're gonna do this. And if they do this drill, do not have their feet up high. Keep your feet down low. Stop. Bend your knees. Feet down low. Now, arms out in front of you. Now, no, don't touch the wall. Now, drive your body back with your toes, yeah. Yes, go again. But see how your butt slid back before you went? Keep everything shifting over your heels, or start over your hips, go. Okay, show me again. Start further back. Start a little bit further back. All right, now explode through as hard as you can. Ready? 1, 2, 3, explode, go. Yes. That's what I'm talking about, y'all. So listen, if you don't get anything out of this, if you haven't gotten anything yet, I want you to just notice the past 65, 70 seconds of when she was over there, not really trying. She got over here, and then I told her to explode, and she just drove herself back. Luckily, not too far into the banister, but Jaden, realistically, you're trying to get back to the banister as far back as you can. And the way I would do this if I was in a group setting, I would have a challenge to see who can push back the furthest, okay? So Jaden, here, you scoot up. You gotta make it a game, y'all. These kids gotta have fun as they're training, okay? Now, let's see who can drive back the furthest, okay? You get to go first, then I'm gonna go against you. Oh, you use your hands, no cheating. Go again, legs only. All right, let's go, scoot it up. Ready? 3. Oh, feet together, show me good technique. Good, and go. Good job, Jaden. So Jaden, and I'm not even going against you. I just knew if I said I was going against you, you would try harder, mama. But that's what I'm talking about. But stop, y'all. Come here, Jaden. Stop. Come here. I'm gonna ask you a question live on camera. Why didn't you try that hard the first time?
Because I wasn't doing it right.
But then again, you didn't even know how far you could go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you don't know how hard is. You don't know how explosive is. Okay. You got to create it and you got to test the limits every single time, but you need someone pushing you to show you your true limit. You know, and that's what I see go wrong. Like some people go over to coaches, y'all, and they're just like, they don't even care. Like the coaches are just lazy, letting them get by with whatever, spotting them instead of fixing the correction because they want them to come back. They want the kids to like them. I don't care if you like me. Like, y'all, half the kids I coached didn't like me for the first 3 months. And then once they started getting their skills and started like saying like, oh, like, hey, I'm kind of cold. That's when the true relationship started with these kids. You know what I mean? Like that's when they really started seeing that we're here to help. Okay. We're not here to be friends with you. We can kick it. We can have fun. We can be friends, but there are expectations. Okay. I expect you to try your hardest. And after you show me, this is what I'm getting at, y'all. After you show me your best, after you show me what you can do, I'm not letting you settle for anything less than that. Okay. Then at some point, all of them are going to look like that. Okay. And then we're going to set the bar even higher. We're going to get back even further. Okay. Now she's hitting the banister. Now we need a longer hallway. You know what I mean? That's how you get better. You need someone who's going to push you, show you how to do it. Someone who's not going to let you settle. Okay. So Jaden, you can go again if you want. And then I'm going to give you my best tip. I'll let her go one more time. That wasn't good. Like, you know what I mean? Like that wasn't good. I want her to go again. Go again. Like you can't let them settle, y'all. Your feet weren't together. You weren't squeezing. And if your feet aren't together, you're not squeezing tight. If you're not squeezing, your body isn't. Go. All right, y'all, you listen. We will be here for like 10, 15 minutes fixing that. Come here. So, Jaden, last back handspring. And then I'm telling them my biggest tip ever, okay? Throw it down. How does that drill correlate to a back handspring? Show me, Jaden. I want you to push off like you were on the wall into that back handspring, okay? Let's get it. Push off that wall. No, go again, go again. Beautiful back handspring. Y'all, I can't say anything bad about that handspring, but it was just kind of weak, okay? If you were, it's like you look like you're really pushing, but you're really not. You have way more in you. But that's the same thing as her barely pushing off the wall. I was like, you have more in you. Then she saw what I was talking about. Like it takes repetition, okay? Yeah. Drive back, James. Jump and swing and snap. Big rebound. Yes, y'all. That's it. We're done. Hey, Jaden, that's how you do it, Mom. That's how you do it. So that's how I coach my daughter for the most part. But I hope y'all got something out of that. But if you didn't, let me give you one more tip. Okay. Roland's biggest tip. What is my biggest tip? Drills get skills. Jan, say it.
Drills get skills.
Drills get skills all day. That is my favorite quote. But whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. Nothing happens overnight. That is probably the biggest takeaway from this entire session. Nothing happens overnight. You have to drill it into these skills, okay? Or you got to start drill it into these kids, these athletes. So Jaden, before we go, whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. Come here. I'm going to ask Jaden a question.
I know it.
Come here. Watch this, y'all. Jaden, whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. Okay? Do you think that you can land a back tuck off of here and onto the purple?
Yes.
Are you just saying yes just because, or do you really think so?
I really think so.
Let me see. So Jaden thinks she can do a back tuck off here, a standing tuck. Let's go. Yeah, you're fine. Let's see. Completely different skill, by the way. Yeah.
I did it.
High five, Jaden. So y'all, if you're watching this right now and you're just seeing that, it probably doesn't mean much to you. You're like, oh, good job. But we know you can do that. You already have that skill. Like you've had that for a long time. We knew you could do it back. So you can do that in the grass. But Jaden has been struggling. She has her own struggles. She's not this perfect child, this phenomenal athlete that is just infallible, doesn't mess up. No, Jaden has been afraid of a back tuck. Y'all, I have videos of her crying for pretty much hours over the past week because she could not land her back tuck off there. It's not that she couldn't, she just didn't believe in herself. She was scared, she kept reaching down, she kept giving up. And we've been working hard at it. And now she has her back tucked back. And I thought she was gonna fall. I'm just gonna let you know. But Jaden, I'm proud of you, mama. High five, good job. I hope y'all enjoyed this. I'm gonna give you my big hug, Jaden. I'm gonna give a copy to anyone who was in here. I just wanted to give y'all a chance to see how I really coach my daughter. Thank y'all for coming in here. I saw that some lady, Renee, was in here. Thank you, Renee, for coming by. I hope y'all learned something. Jaden, do you want to tell them anything? Do you have a tip for them for their back handspring?
To keep your arm straight and do not bend down.
Last drill or last tip. Do a handstand. Check this out. What happens if you bend your arm? Bend your arms. Boom, head hits the ground. Head hits the ground, back handspring's done. Okay, simple as that. A drill I have for that, arms up. Lock out, lock out, lock out, lock out, lock out. So look, if your arms, hey, don't let me hit your head. Don't let me hit your head. No, don't move. Don't let me hit it. No, now here, what happens if you bend your arm? Here, stop. What happens if you bend your arms? Boom, I hit your head, okay? And now I fall on you and then you can't tumble anymore because you're squished. I squished the Jaden. Now she can't tumble because she bent her arms. Okay, y'all, we're getting off of here. Thank y'all so much for watching. Jen, tell them bye-bye.
Bye.